about cereal. They are becoming richer. They don't think you are talking about them. So we have to call them by their rightful name so they know we are talking about them, that they are becoming more richer. Actually, one white fellow was trying to make a joke and said, if we had known democracy was going to be this nice, we would have given it to you before 1976 to avoid killing of people. Why? It's very nice for them. They can now open Pick and Pay in Soweto. They couldn't do it in the past. They can now open ShopRite in Toyando. They couldn't do it in the past. And their opening of these shops in the black townships has led to the closing down of spaza shops and making those small black business people in those townships and rural areas more poorer. That's why democracy is so nice for whites. They would have given it to us in 1970 had they known it was going to be this nice. Chief, there is no urban or rural land in our vocab. There is South African land. All of it must be taken, and the state must be the custodian of that land and reallocate it to our people, and preference given to the previously disadvantaged people. That includes the land owned by Ingonyama Trust. That includes the land owned by Hosi Tony Ramabulan, Kotsikulu Ramabulan. That includes their land. That includes the land of our king in the Eastern Cape, who's in prison now. Dalinje, he's our king. No prison can take away your blood. King is blood. Kingship is blood. He's a king in prison. That includes his land. All of it. And if the land in the hands of the chiefs and the kings is meant to benefit the people, the state can still do that. Unless it's meant to benefit the elite found in those tribal arrangements. But if indeed its intention is to benefit ordinary people, the state can do that. Let's not talk war. Let us not beat war drums here. Let us come up with superior argument on why it shouldn't be done like that. We love the Zulu king, by the way. We support him. We gave him cattle. But we can disagree with him. And we should do that. We should do that. There are no holy cows in this country. We must debate issues openly, including disagreeing with the Zulu king. Democracy means that. We must never fear. Anything that seeks to instill fear is undemocratic and should never be celebrated. It's undemocratic and should never be celebrated. The Zulu king must call for engagement with regard to the land. He must be respected. He must not be feared. No one. I only fear God. I don't fear anyone. If it means death, let it be. Why should we be intimidated here and be threatened for thinking? We have never promised war to the Zulu kingdom. We have never promised war to the Afrikaners. We have never promised war to the whites. We have called for engagement. So why should the response be, leave what you are doing, otherwise you will meet the unexpected? Hey, what type of language is this in a democratic South Africa? No one is talking war here. Everybody is talking about how do we get the Zulu people, the Venda people, the Xhosa people benefiting from their land. No one is excluded here. No one. So we are saying, let there be a peaceful engagement. Let us not talk war. There is no army which will go against the Zulu people. No army at all. There's no police which will go against the Zulu people. The Zulu king must be aware that anything else that seeks to put blacks against blacks will just lead on black violence. That's what they are calling for. Because there's no army. The people who support the expropriation of land without compensation, they will have to defend themselves for their thinking. So we want every Zulu-speaking person in South Africa to get a piece of land. To get a piece of land. We want all of them to get a piece of land. So if the king thinks this is the best way to give the people land through Ingonyama Trust, let the king come and make such a submission and persuade the EFF. And persuade the ANC and persuade Parliament. The king should be encouraging dialogue in South Africa because of the experiences he had had himself in KwaZulu-Natal. He should be encouraging dialogue. There's no any other way out of this except dialogue, not violence. Comrades, let's be clear here. We should never be intimidated and should never tiptoe around people who want to threaten us with violence. Never. If we die today, if we die tomorrow, if we die at any time, we should die with our boots on so that the incoming generation can respect us and continue the struggle. If we are going to be scared because the Zulu king is angry and says, leave this thing, then no one is going to inherit this struggle because they will all be scared. Some of us are still shocked, why are we still alive? Because when we joined this thing, the highest price was death. The second price was prison. So there shouldn't be any amount of intimidation that scare fighters and those who believe in expropriation of land without compensation. I'm shocked with the... Anyway, I'm not shocked because I said this before. And those who care to keep archives can go and search the... I said the Zuma people who are supporting Nkosazana do not mean it when they say expropriation of land without compensation. They don't mean it. I said it. And if you doubted what I said, look at the KZN ANC today. They are tiptoeing now around the issue of expropriation of land without compensation. They are speaking against their own sponsored resolution. Why? Because they never meant it. They all just wanted the votes for Nkosazana. Thank God they failed. They failed. Sitle Zigalala. Why is there no any disciplinary action against Mkhunu? Mkhunu, who stands there during the state of the province and speaks something completely different from the National Conference resolution of the ANC. When we tell you this ANC is finished, people think we are playing. They do not even have respect of their own resolution. If you doubt it, just look at the KZN ANC. Sure.
Let's take the
Did I leave something?
Yes.
Which one?
The removal of goods on the terraces.
Well, the goods must be removed and then proper goods of enterprise and rainbow. If there is such a thing, we must educate our people. It's not every Vienna. It's it's a Vienna from enterprise and a baloney. The cheese is not affected. So they must leave cheese alone. They must not cheese. I mean, but come over like Maliva. So, Arboni or Maliva enterprise. Yellow as Maliva enterprise. Please, leave Maliva. Leave Maliva. So there's no problem. The problem is when you don't want to remove enterprise and rainbow chickens. Otherwise, everything else, it's fine. We don't have a problem. So if there is such incident, please bring it to our attention so that we can educate our fighters. About Barnabano Maliva as I hear, but you let Maliva everywhere, no, in Cham Maliva. So we have to educate them. It's not every baloney, it's not every Russian, it's enterprise Russian, and all of that. So, but Jonaria didn't Chashem, and ashamedly, we don't even apologize for that.
Yes.
Enterprise, Rainbow, we're removing them. Pick and Pay called Mbuyiseni and said, no, We don't do that. We don't keep things. But there's a Pick and Pay in Protea, in Soweto, which kept enterprise products and Rainbow Chicken. There was Pick and Pay in Tefliop, which was refusing to refund the students. They said they do not have the receipts. And our argument is, why would they keep the receipts? Because they never had intention to bring these things back. And those things have got scanners. You know, people from Pick and Pay, you'll think they are clever, but many of them, they are different. It has got a scanner, that thing. So they can take it and scan it, and then it will show if it's a Pick and Pay product or not. Something like that. So they can just establish a new till there or a desk which deals with returns of enterprise. It's as easy as that. Our aggressive approach is because government is very soft when it comes to white-owned companies. We know that our government will not go aggressive in removing this thing from the shelves. Motsoaledi, the man who arrives very late on every situation, has arrived now on this issue, and then he has disappeared. We have never seen Motsoaledi, the most active